This isn't your average courtroom hearing. What you're about to watch is the story of a woman once declared insane after a horrifying car crash, now fighting to walk free again. But the question hanging over everyone's head is, has she truly recovered, or is this another tragedy waiting to happen?
This case is State of Ohio versus Mary Claw Witter, case 19-CR36168. Ms. Claw Witter is present with her counsel, Tim McKenna. The state is represented by Travis View. We're here for a hearing on conditional release. Anything from the state, Mr. View?
Your Honor, we've had an opportunity to review Dr. Shaw's report and the draft conditional release. We have no additional input in terms of conditions. My understanding is that she will be prohibited from driving. I think the plan for long-term injectables for Seroquel seems appropriate for the case. I did expect at least one of the victims to be present based upon our communications. I don't see anyone or the victim's advocate here, so perhaps I don't think they were intending to make a statement, but I did expect someone else to be here. Beyond that, we don't have any other information or recommendations for the court.
Okay, Mr.
Notice how calm this part sounds. Both sides seem surprisingly agreeable. That's because this isn't about guilt or innocence anymore. She was already found not guilty by reason of insanity. What's being decided now is whether she's safe enough to rejoin society.
First of all, it's 1:13, so it's not quite time for anybody to be here. They've got a couple more minutes, so if they show up, we'll make sure they have input or an opportunity for input. Mr. McKenna, anything on the conditional release?
Judge, she's in agreement, of course. She'd like to be released. She's doing very well. She's 69. She still speaks with family members. She's on medication, and she'd like a chance at this. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Claw Witter, how are you?
I'm doing okay. A little nervous.
And here comes the victim, Kyle. He's about to recount a nightmare that still haunts him. His words are calm, but every detail, the speed, the salon, the crash, paints a picture of trauma that time hasn't healed. Try to imagine sitting just feet away from the person who nearly ended your life.
But okay.
I understand. We're going to wait a couple of minutes. I'm going to do one more case, a quick pretrial probably, or probation violation, and just to see if anybody shows up from the victim's side of the case, and then we'll proceed. Ms. Claw Witter is present with her counsel, Tim McKenna. The state is represented by Travis View. Mr. View, you indicated that some victims in the case wish to be heard.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Burrell is present with the victim.
My name is Kyle Tedman. On September 24, 2019, I was purposely rear-ended by Mary Claw Witter, who at the time had gone off her psychiatric medication and was driving with her seatbelt on. At a dangerously high speed, later confirmed to be 84 miles an hour. Mary spent much of the day preparing for what ultimately became a catastrophic event. She had purchased a car, had her nails done, and had her hair done at my mother's salon. My mother was working there that day and personally witnessed Mary's erratic and unsettling behavior the hours that led up to the crash. Later that day, the crash occurred just outside that very salon. My mother was inside working, aware that a serious accident had happened right outside, but she had no idea that her own child was involved. It wasn't until she returned home that two police officers came to her door to inform her that there had been an accident. She didn't know if I was alive or dead. The shock and trauma she experienced in that moment, something no parent should ever have to endure. Forced the impact launched my vehicle into another car in front of me, which was occupied by a group of 4 children and Miss DeFalco. My nothing short of a miracle I survived were considered minor physical injuries, 4 broken ribs, a partially collapsed lung, internal bleeding, and 26 stitches on my forehead. But the emotional and psychological trauma has stayed with me every day since. That moment
This is the heart of the debate. Freedom versus safety. Should someone who caused such devastation ever be trusted again, even under supervision. Let me know what you'd decide if you were the judge. Release her or keep her institutionalized.
Has changed the course of my life and deeply impacted my family. The constant fear, anxiety, and questions about safety have never fully left. What if the impact had been worse? What if those children had died? What if I had? One thought that continues to haunt me is this: 2 days before the crash, I had been traveling with my 1-year-old cousin who was secured in the back seat of the vehicle. If the accident had occurred then, that baby in the car with me that day, I truly believe the outcome would have been tragic. I cannot put into words the fear and what if that has followed me ever since. Mary has now spent the last 5 years in an institution, and I understand she's being considered for release. I do not take lightly to the concept of rehabilitation or second chances, but I must be honest. I'm terrified of what might happen if Mary is released and fails to consistently take her medication again. She has proven what she's capable of when unmedicated. Her decisions to stop treatment once already led to devastating consequences not only for me, but for the innocent people who could have lost their lives that day. What guarantee is there that this won't happen again? Who will ensure that she stays compliant with her medication? Who will be accountable if she makes the same decision again and someone doesn't survive? My family and I continue to carry the emotional weight of this incident. Every time I get into a car, I am reminded of how quickly everything can change. I am haunted by the crash, the helplessness, and the thought of what could have happened had the circumstances been only slightly different. I urge you to take seriously the risk that Mary possesses if not strictly monitored. If she is to be released, I strongly request that conditions to be in place that hold her accountable for adhering to her psychiatric treatment. Through regular supervision, medication, compliance checks, and mental health evaluations, without these safeguards, I fear that next time there won't be a minor injury story to tell.
And there it is, the moment that froze the courtroom. The defendant claims she was following the voice of God. In insanity defense cases, statements like this blur the line between divine experience and delusion. But how do you judge someone who genuinely believes they were obeying a higher power?
All right, sir. Most of these cases that I see rely almost totally on medication compliance. They do monitor that.
Yes.
And I know, can't imagine being in your situation. I have grandchildren that ride in the car seat in my car.
Mm-hmm.
And to have innocent people be the victim of this kind of tragedy, basically crime, is just unthinkable.
Mm-hmm.
We do have to listen to the people who make the decisions from a medical point of view. So I don't want you to think that this is not being considered carefully.
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Is there anything else to add from any other victims, Mr. View?
No, Your Honor. We thought another one of the victims may be present, but I believe Ms. Burrell has confirmed that she is not going to attend.
Okay. Ms. Claw Witter, you had an opportunity to hear from the victims in this case. Do you feel any remorse?
I do, Your Honor. Ever since this began for me, I've wanted to speak to you, but I couldn't because I was told that that's not a good thing to do. That night, that was not done deliberately. I did hear what I believe was the voice of God. The voice of God commanded me to take my foot, press the accelerator of the car to the floor. That's all the voice said to me. I did that because I felt that God was testing me, so I wanted to obey God. So I did take my foot and press it down.
And just like that, the gavel falls. Mary Claw Witter, once deemed criminally insane, is now granted conditional release. The law believes in rehabilitation, but the victims still live with fear. So, what do you think? Justice served or danger postponed?
As the car was accelerating, I blacked out that night. And I didn't come to until right before I opened my eyes and there's the car in front of me. I was traveling at a high rate of speed, but I blacked out that night. I've been wanting to tell you that since this began for me. It wasn't done deliberately. Those charges against me are true. I didn't purposely assault anyone. I didn't purposely try to kill them. The voice didn't tell me to do those things. I'm not guilty of those charges. I've spent almost 6 years now locked up on charges I'm not guilty of.
Well, technically you're correct because you were found not guilty by reason of insanity. The question is, are you going to continue to be compliant with your medication?
Yes.
Okay. You understand you'll be monitored closely on that.
Yes.
All right. Well, I've heard from the doctor, I've heard from the counsel and a victim and Ms. Claw Witter. I'll go ahead and we'll proceed with conditional release that has been approved by the physician at Summit with the understanding that there will be monitoring. All right. Anything else, Mr. View?
Nothing additional, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. McKenna?
Nothing, Judge, thank you.
All right, that's all.